Good morning. Welcome, excuse me, to take me out to the ball game today. Sorry, busy morning, and let's get it rolling. Quick scores from last night. Yankees beat the Twins. We'll get into that in a second. Braves lose a heartbreaking walk-off to the Phillies. Luke Williams, rookie, did the walk-off job as a pinch hit. It was a really cool story. It is up on MLB.com. We will share it to the Armchair Quarterbacks Facebook page and Twitter page here in a minute. Rangers over the Giants, and then real quick, the Cubs beat the Padres. Mets trash the Orioles. Rays lose in 11 to the Nationals, and the Reds beat the Brewers. Cardinals beat the Indians, and away we go. Today, we've got some pretty good early action in Major League Baseball today as it all gets rolling here in just a little while. You've got, was it 3 or 4 day games today? 4. The Braves and Phillies are 1 o'clock Eastern. But before that, you've got Dodgers Pirates at 12:30. Urias is on the mound. Brewers Reds at 12:30 as well. That'll be Peralta versus Castillo. Should be a good pitching matchup. Castillo, I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. He's got a 6.63 ERA. The guy's a phenomenal pitcher. I'm sure some of it has to do with the fact that he plays in that bandbox in Cincinnati, but my God. I mean, this is bad. We're halfway through the season. Well, not halfway, but we're into June. So we're well a third of the way into the season. And 6.63 ERA, 2-8 on the season. He's got a rough road to hoe there. Well, rough hoe. I remember those nights. The Peralta 2.25 ERA for folks who haven't watched him pitch. Phenomenal pitcher. Mariners and Tigers play today also at 1 o'clock. If you're extremely bored and want to watch really bad baseball, they will be on as well. If it were me and I wanted to dial in, Anderson versus Wheeler, the 1 o'clock game, Braves and Phillies should be a lot of fun. Like I said, I would be keeping an eye on how well Castillo pitches today, because they've got to start getting concerned at this point. And then, of course, Peralta and Urias, 2 very good pitchers in their own right tonight. Giants and Nats. Red Sox, Astros. That's the big one. Erod versus Greinke. And away we go. The Yankees and Twins also finish up tonight. Okay. Yankees and Twins last night. Garrett Cole struck out Josh Donaldson twice last night, in case you missed it. So that's a lot of fun there, as he's got to be just getting just pissed at this point, as he calls it. Josh Donaldson calls out Garrett Cole for cheating using tack, which Cole has not denied it, but he went out there yesterday and blew him off the mound, or blew him out of the batter's box. He went 0 for 5, and Cole, I guess, didn't have a whole lot to say afterwards, but keep an eye on that story. They did ask Cole after the game about Donaldson, and he just let it go. He just basically said, if he wants to reach out to me, he can reach out to me, kind of thing. He's trying to take the high road, mainly because he knows he knows that Josh Donaldson is speaking the truth. He just doesn't want to address it because it can't be good for his image. Julio Jones has been at the facility in Tennessee at team meetings already. So the expectation is that he's 100% healthy, and he should be ready to roll for their mini camp next week. And how much work he'll get in, who knows? But when they open up camps in July, the expectations is Julio Jones is ready to roll and good to go for the Tennessee Titans. So we take that. Now, here's a disturbing story. But I feel like if I didn't cover this, I wouldn't be doing my job. Legendary coach, Michigan coach, Bo Schembechler, anyone who follows college football knows that name, said he told so the son of Bo Schembechler said that he told his father, the Bo Schembechler, that former team doctor Robert Anderson, excuse me, of the University of Michigan, molested him during a physical exam in the 1960s, and that the revered coach ignored the complaint and went out of his way to make sure Anderson kept his role with the team. It's another disturbing story, because we all remember what happened with Joe Paterno, where he just hid the Sandusky thing. And it might have been what killed Paterno, because Paterno passed away not too long after that whole debacle happened. People were coming out protesting and whatnot, wanting to take his image down. I still think the NCAA did a terrible job. They reinstated Joe Paterno's wins. I'll never recognize him with his wins, because they took him away and then they gave him back. What the hell kind of crap is that? When you ignore and you didn't just allow it to happen, you enabled a molester to have his office next to you for years and you don't do a damn thing about it. Joe Paterno is low on my list. And for Penn State fans, this is not an indictment on the university. It's Joe Paterno particularly that let molestation and abuse go unresolved during the time period. It wasn't until years later. But Bo Schembechler's son, who is now 62, is talking about it. I don't know why this story came out just now. Like, why is he now talking about it? I won't get into the details. You can read the details because they're pretty disturbing, and I don't want to bring your day down. But Anderson worked for the University of Michigan from 1966 to 2003. Now, he's saying this happened in the mid-90s, that he told his dad. So essentially almost a decade later, he was still with the university, Anderson. We'll keep an eye on that story for sure. And in the world of sports today, College Women's World Series, it's Florida State, go Noles, against Oklahoma. Should be a great game. It's going to sneak up on you. It's 3:00 Eastern. So it's not the typical 7:00 that they've been doing the past few nights and what you would normally expect. It's because the ESPN's putting an NBA doubleheader on their mothership, and I guess they didn't want them to compete against each other. So in their world, they think they're going to get more viewers if they put the Women's College World Series on at 3 as opposed to going up against the NBA. I don't think that's what it really is. I think they know that the Women's College World Series might come very close to getting the same amount of eyeballs if they put it on at 7 p.m. Eastern, because the NBA numbers have just been terrible, and they don't want to compete against themselves, so that's what they're doing. This is a terrible disservice to the Women's College World Series, because their championship game, their final, this is for it all. The series tied 1 apiece. Game 3 walks it home. Oklahoma, number 1 in the country. Florida State, a Cinderella story. It's a disservice to put it on at 3:00 in the afternoon. You think they would do this to the men's? Do you think they would do this to the college football championship? Do you think they would do this to anything? It's a disservice. It's very disappointing. Put it on ESPN too. And people who want to watch basketball, want to watch basketball. People want to watch softball, want to watch softball. But 3:00 in the afternoon is kind of asinine because most people are at work. Even though a lot of people are working from home at this point, it's not really the point. The point is we're starting to open up. People are going to be at the office. Even if you are at home and or in a cubicle and you have a chance to have your device on, you can't be fully invested in it because you've got to still be working. You're not trying to get fired about it because Mason hits a 2-run bomb in the 4th and you're jumping up and down in your cubicle and you're off and your boss is like, did you get that ninja report in or not? You're going, oh, or if you're an Oklahoma fan, I don't know what they did. Something about a wagon, but it's terrible look for ESPN and all this crap that we get about furthering women's sports and furthering this and furthering that. They don't give them any rest over the weekend. They have them playing at ridiculous hours. And now today, they got to play at 3 o'clock Eastern. Boo. Bad job, ESPN. Not that that's ever a shock. Competent. They were fortunate that they got in on the ground floor when they did in the 80s. Because if anyone else with any other kind of clout, with any kind of oomph, would have went head to head with them, ESPN would not have the footprint that they have right now. They still get a lot of your eyeballs and your fans, but it's out of habit at this point. I do believe you're going to see someone rock the sports world and do things better, because they got to do it better than ESPN. I mean, and this is just terrible. This is just a terrible look. It's embarrassing. The last thing that we'll talk about today is you've got some playoffs going on in the NHL and NBA. NHL last night, the Islanders are headed to the conference finals. They're going to play the Lightning. And tonight, Colorado's playoffs are on the line. Their playoff lives are on the line. They're down 2-3. They're going back to Vegas. They've got to win this to force a game 7, which would be back in Colorado. But they haven't played very well since that very first game in Colorado where they blew the doors off of Vegas. Vegas is coming, y'all. The winner of this is going to play Montreal. That should be a fun series as well. And then the NBA, we just talked about they've got a doubleheader tonight. By the way, the Suns blew out the Nuggets last night. And tonight you got Brooklyn up 2-0 at Milwaukee. I'll get interested in it. If I flip over around halftime and the game's close, Milwaukee has a chance, I'll get interested. But if it looks like the same junk that we saw earlier, I'm out. If Brooklyn's blowing them out, who cares? And then the Clippers-Utah series is fun, but it's 10 Eastern, so good luck keeping me up that late watching that. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here as it's early baseball today, y'all. Have fun. Watch the baseball. Watch the women's softball. Don't compare it to baseball when you watch it. It is its own sport. It's extremely fun, and it's extremely exciting in its own right. We will see you tomorrow. Good luck, Lady Knowles. And regardless who wins, what a great season, what a great tournament. And it's glad to have it back, because it sucked not having it back not having it last year. And then tomorrow starts the super regionals for the men's college baseball. We'll talk about that mañana. Have a great one. We're here every day at around this time.